My MIL attacked me at 8 months pregnant because we're having another girl. My mother-in-law, Linda, had always been particular about our family. From the moment I married her son, Marcus, 3 years ago, she made it clear that she had expectations. She never said them out loud, but I felt them in every look, every comment, every visit to their house. When I got pregnant with our first child, Linda became obsessed with the baby. She called every single day asking about symptoms, cravings, appointments. She bought furniture for the nursery without asking us first. She signed us up for parenting classes and mailed me prenatal vitamins with handwritten notes about proper nutrition. At first, I thought it was sweet, overbearing but sweet. Then we found out we were having a girl. The phone calls stopped. The visits became shorter. When our daughter Emma was born, Linda held her for exactly 2 minutes before handing her back and saying she looked tired. She didn't visit the hospital again. For 2 years, Linda barely acknowledged Emma existed. Birthday cards arrived late with generic messages. Christmas gifts were clearly last-minute purchases. At family dinners, she'd walk right past Emma to greet everyone else first. I mentioned it to Marcus, but he said his mom had always been distant and I was reading too much into it. He said she just wasn't a baby person and would warm up when Emma got older. Then I got pregnant again, and everything changed overnight. Linda showed up at our house with homemade soup and flowers the day after we announced it. She started calling again, asking about every doctor's appointment, every ultrasound. She bought a crib for her house, saying the baby would need somewhere to sleep during visits. The attention was intense, but I tried to appreciate it. Maybe Marcus was right. Maybe she'd warmed up. Maybe things would be different this time. But then I started noticing things. When Linda visited, she'd put her hand on my belly and whisper things I couldn't quite hear. She brought over boxes of baby clothes, but they were all blue. Every single item. When I mentioned we didn't know the gender yet, she smiled and said she had a feeling. She started asking strange questions about my family history, whether anyone had fertility issues, how many boys versus girls were born on my side. She wrote everything down in a little notebook she carried everywhere. At my baby shower, Linda gave a toast that made everyone uncomfortable. She talked about legacy and carrying on the family name and how important sons were to continuing traditions. My friends exchanged looks while I tried to laugh it off. Then she asked Marcus to come over alone one weekend. He was gone for 6 hours and came back quiet. When I asked what they talked about, he said it was nothing important. But that night I heard him on the phone with her, speaking in hushed tones about options and timing and whether it was too late. I found the papers in his nightstand 2 weeks later, printouts about gender selection and clinics that offered testing. One page was highlighted with Linda's handwriting in the margins. I was 7 months pregnant when we went in for a routine ultrasound. The technician confirmed what our earlier test had suggested. We were having another girl. I was happy. Marcus said he was happy. But when he called his mother from the parking lot, I heard her voice through the phone. Not words exactly, but a sound I'd never heard from her before. Low and cold and wrong. The dinner invitation came 3 days later. Linda wanted us over for a family meal to celebrate the pregnancy. Just us, she said. Something intimate before the baby arrived. That night at her house, something felt different. She kept refilling my water glass. She watched me eat with an intensity that made my skin crawl. Halfway through dinner, she sent Marcus downstairs to grab wine from the basement. The moment he was gone, she leaned across the table and grabbed my wrist, hard. Her voice was barely a whisper. She said Marcus was her only son, that their family name went back 5 generations, that she'd spent her whole life waiting for a grandson to carry on what her husband's family had built. I tried to pull away, but her grip tightened. She said she knew someone who could help, a doctor who could make sure the next pregnancy went differently, that this baby, this girl, didn't have to happen if I understood what was really at stake. I told her she was crazy, that I was calling Marcus, that we were leaving. That's when she stood up and grabbed the ceramic vase from the center of the table, and what she did next put me in the hospital for 3 days. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below.